everybody. How's it going? If there's any young ones, any young children want to come up to the front, you can come up to us and you get a closer look at what we're going to do today. Come on up. So as Isaiah said, I'm Edward White, and this is Dee James. And we're going to do the sermon for you guys today. So, have you guys ever heard of stories about the when you were a baby? Have your parents ever told you when you were a baby what happened? Or maybe you had a younger sibling and you saw them grow up and see what happened? No? Your parents don't talk about when you were a baby? Yeah? And you saw your sister born, yeah. So how did your family meet you for the first time? How'd they meet you? Did they meet you in the hospital? Maybe it was at the airport when you came to see relatives? Or maybe at home when your grandma and grandpa came over, or aunts and uncles? Well, what would it have been like to meet your family in a stable? This crudely drawn one over here. What about that? So Jesus' family met him in a stable in Bethlehem just like that. And on the night he was born. So in kids' church, we've been using a curriculum called Whirl. It's a lot of fun. I really like it. I don't know about you guys. Do you guys like it? Yeah. Well, today we're also going to watch a cartoon that goes along with every lesson we do on Sunday. So we're going to watch the one that's supposed to be for today. So sit back, relax, and we'll put it on the screen there.
The birth of Jesus. In those days, a decree went out from Emperor Augustus that all the world should be registered, which basically means to be counted.
Behold, it is I, the Emperor, and I have a decree. To whom it may concern, meaning everyone. Decree number 1.
Are you nervous, Otto?
Why be nervous? It's just the exact same old Christmas pageant we do every year.
The secret is to pretend like everyone is wearing clothes.
And everyone went to their own town to register. Okay, Jax, that's our cue.
That was my best Augustus yet.
I am Joseph, and I am of the house of David.
Ugh, every year it's the same story. They register. There's no room at the inn. Jesus is born in a lowly stable, and he sleeps his first night in a dirty feeding trough that's covered in animal spit. Don't you wish, Clara, that just once we could give Jesus a cool entrance into the world? Herald Angel to the rescue! Let's go, Monty!
Everyone is wearing clothes. Everyone is wearing clothes.
Behold, it is I, Gabriel, who brings tidings of a complete plot twist. Otto, get off the stage! Follow my lead, I've got some rewrites. And Mary gave birth to Jesus, the Son of God. And she wrapped the Lord in golden robes of greatness and placed 2 crowns on his head. Otto, I don't mean to interrupt, but that's not how the story goes. But this is way more believable for the birth of the Son of God. We have to keep going. Clara, keep narrating. Oh, okay. And then an angel spoke to a group of shepherds who were... The angel spoke? Or the angel totally rocked out? And the angel told the shepherds, and you'll find a mighty king wrapped in a blanket of gold.
Wow, that angel sure plays a mean harmonica.
I don't think that Jesus
With
would...
a golden attitude!
Otto, stop! What? Jesus didn't come to Earth to show off. He came to Earth for us, as a completely normal baby, just like us.
But we're talking Jesus here, Clara. He's not just a big deal. He's the biggest deal in the whole... Hey, what are you doing?
All right, Clara, get us back on track. Thanks, Ada. So, the shepherds hurried off and found Mary and Joseph and the baby Jesus. He looked like a regular baby wrapped in cloth laying in a manger.
The end! Behold, it is I, the Emperor, and I have a decree. To whom it may concern, meaning everyone. Decree number 1, thou shalt avert thine eyes whenever I enter thine room. So do not look at me in the face, I appreciate it. Decree number 2, everyone will say my name at least 5 times a day and praise it, for I am the best. Decree number 3, no looking directly into the sun. This seems like it should be an obvious thing. Also, no moon looking. Moon, not quite as bad, but still sunlight, so let's stay away from that moon.
All right. So, Dee, take it away. All right, I'm doing this right. So what are the parts that some of the kids are playing in the pageant? Can you guys name some of them? What are some of the parts? Yes. Gabriel. So Angel Gabriel is supposed to be played by someone else, but Otto took it upon himself to do it. Anybody else? Who else was playing what? Yes. Jesus. So one of the little ones, Tot, was dressed like Jesus at the end there. Yes. Mary was played by Ada. So all these characters we see every week, so the kids get to know them. So why does Otto, the red one, think he needs to change the story? Why do you think? Do you know? Yes. You saw an angel as well. Yes. He thinks it's boring, right? Exactly. And how did Clara describe baby Jesus? The green one. How did Clara, the green one, describe? Normal. He was just normal. Just a normal little baby. And why do we tell the same story over and over each year? Why is it always the same story? Yes. Because it's his birthday and we want to know, right? Exactly. So what's your favorite part about that story, Jesus' birth? What's your favorite part? Yes. We're in the stable? Yes. You wanted to change the story. That was the favorite part of the movie? Little clip? It's great. All right. So Dee here is going to read us the story out of our little Bible here.
So this is our storybook Bible, and I'm going to read it, our story to you. So I'll read it, and then I'll show you the pictures, because I can't hold the microphone and read and show pictures. So it works. Alright, so our story is called A Tiny Baby is Born, from Luke 2:1 to 10. Mary and Joseph packed quickly. They needed to go to Bethlehem to be tempted by the emperor. Mary was worried. Where would they stay? Joseph was concerned. Would they be gone a long time? Mary and Joseph were both excited. Soon their son Jesus would be born. Bethlehem was crowded with people. Knock, knock. Mary and Joseph knocked on door after door. There was nowhere for them to stay. Please. Mary grabbed Joseph's hand tight. The baby was coming. That night, Mary gave birth to a tiny baby. It was Jesus. Joseph found a simple wooden manger for Jesus' bed. Mary wrapped her newborn son tightly in cloth and laid him in the golden hay. The baby Jesus yawned with his tiny mouth. Joseph touched his tiny fingers. Mary looked at his tiny wrinkled face and smiled. In a nearby field, shepherds watched the starry sky in the quiet night. A bright light flashed. The shepherds jumped. An angel appeared. The shepherds tried to hide. Don't be afraid, the angel said. I have good news. Tonight the Messiah was born. God's Son has come to be with you. His name is Jesus. A choir of angels filled the sky. The shepherds were amazed. The angel's song echoed across the hills. Glory to God, peace on earth. The shepherds hurried to see Jesus. Then they raced across the hill shouting the good news. Jesus is born! So the shepherds were just on the faces, overwhelmed and scared. Alright. So, we just read about the baby. So where was the tiny baby born? In a manger. Do you remember what city? Bethlehem. Alright, so who were the baby's first visitors? Yeah? The shepherds. And who told the shepherds about the baby Jesus? Yeah? The angel. And how would you feel if you saw a giant group of angels in the sky? Marlon? You just get blown away. How else would you guys feel? Shocked? Would any of you be scared maybe?
I would be.
No? Edward would be. Vanessa wouldn't. So if a bunch of angels appeared, Vanessa, you would not be scared? Okay. You'd be surprised?
Exactly.
So, if you saw a bunch of angels and they came and told you about Jesus, who would you tell? Everyone? Would you tell your mom? Your dad? Your siblings? Would you tell Edward? That's nice of you.
Thanks.
Alrighty. So I have a little activity for us to do. As you can see, I got some people here in our stable. So who's this? And? And? Alrighty. So, who else was in the stable when Mary and Joseph got there?
The shepherd.
Who else? They make funny noises. Yeah? Animals? Alright, so I need 3 people to come up and help me draw some animals. Ariana, Ella, and my friend in the black shirt.
Christopher.
Alright, so take some markers.
I'm not good at
That's okay, they don't have to look it. Whatever you think an animal should look like.
You can
guys
do it.
Draw whichever animals you want.
You can pick one out of there and then try to draw it.
No, you can't put it on there. Okay.
All right.
Draw an animal wherever you want on the table. There we go.
All right.
That's okay, it cannot stick like.
So we got some ears.
We have a blue animal over here.
Ooh,
I don't think so.
it's okay. Oh, I get the broken mic.
That mic's not working. Okay. What'd you draw, Ella? A donkey, a blue donkey? Do you want to come say what noise a donkey makes? What does a donkey make?
Hee-haw.
And what did you draw, Christopher?
Horse.
What do they make?
Nay.
And what are you drawing, Ariana?
A cow.
What do they make?
Moo.
Genius. All right, well, Ariana finishes her cow. I'm going to need some more help. I need some people to help me put some hay in our stable. Yeah, you pick.
What's your name? Pardon? Kenzie, come on up, Kenzie. And what's your name? Emerson, come on up. And second.
He has the hay. I'm sorry.
My glue.
Here you go.
Because we have to put our hay on.
Pick some hay.
I think it's great, Ariana.
It's the cord, darling.
Fantastic.
All right, so we need to put one more thing into our manger. So our baby Jesus was wrapped up in order to keep him warm, but I think he's not quite warm enough. So we're going to use glue, because glue's better. And we're going to put some extra warmth on baby Jesus. So I need one person's good for this one. can you stick this on the baby Jesus? Keep him warm. Perfect. Thank you. Now you'll stay extra warm.
All right. So we know the story, the Bible story of Jesus' birth, and we just kind of went over it, so now we know. But what about all that fancy stuff? What about all the wrap gifts and the trees? And what about the other places around the world to celebrate Christmas a little bit differently? Well, so like in Spain, Mexico, and Guatemala, people celebrate Christmas by holding Las Posadas. Las Posada. I may be pronouncing that wrong, so forgive me. They put on a play, and these people go around dressed up like Mary and Joseph, and they knock on real people's doors around a village or a town and ask them if they can come in. And in Lithuania, Christmas Eve, or Kusios, is more important than Christmas Day. And in Kusios is also the name of the big Christmas Eve meal, which everyone gathers with friends and family. And it's really important because it's the last day of Advent, so they like to make a big meal. But there's no meat. I don't know about that. I like meat in my meal. But usually people fast the entire day for this meal, so they don't eat anything, so they can eat lots and lots of food. And Orthodox Christian churches, Christmas is actually going to be celebrated on January 7th of next year. I know. And most Western Christian churches use a calendar called the Gregorian calendar, which is a fancy word for the calendar we use. And the Orthodox churches use the older calendar called the Julian calendar. So that's why it's 13 days after our Christmas. And you may wonder why the Bible doesn't include any Christmas trees, or stockings, or ornaments, or gifts, except for the ones that the 3 wise men gave to Jesus. Well, those things came later in celebrating Christmas. And the Christmas tree came from German tradition. And they celebrated the evergreen tree, or the pine tree, because it was always green all year round. And they reminded them of the everlasting life Jesus had and gave to them. And so they decorated with the fancy colors and decorations and brought it in their home to celebrate it with their family. And gift giving came into the idea of Christmas because of 3 wise men and giving the 3 gifts, but also the gift that God gave to us, his son, Jesus. And what about stockings? What do you guys think stockings were? Big socks, right, exactly. And they're fancy colored socks that hang over a fireplace or near a tree. Yes? And Santa comes and puts presents in them, exactly. And the fireplace is where people used to dry their wet, sticky socks so they could use them the next day. Wet, stinky socks. So when your socks got wet, they didn't have dryers or any of the fancy stuff that we have today. They had to hang them up near a hot place, like a fireplace, to dry them. And they also put their boots. So some people put their socks on there, but some people actually put boots as well to dry them. And so that became a tradition that came all around of hiding little small gifts in those socks and boots so they would surprise the kids on Christmas Day. So they try to put their foot in. Oh no, there's something there. So we get a little surprise for them. So why do we need all this extra stuff? Why do we need all the extra stuff around Christmas? Well, we use these traditions and items to kind of help us enjoy the season, to allow us to share our feelings of joy and happiness, love and peace, all that good stuff. And we gather with family and friends, even though sometimes family can be stressful. And in today's world, simple just doesn't cut it. And we like to think that, like Otto did, where the same old Christmas story just doesn't cut it anymore. And so we add things to it. And we tweak it a bit here and there. We add some new traditions and get more things to add with those traditions. And so the original story gets lost in all the wrapping. But it's okay. Because as long as we look back to the main idea of Christmas and the simplicity, the gift that God gave us, which is his son Jesus. And it was God and man in one. And it was the most humble of ways possible. Born in a condition of poverty, around people that wouldn't normally would be outcasts in society, the shepherds. And it made us become closer and become like to his children and to be one of us. You want to pray, Dee?
Dear God, thank you so much for this wonderful Christmas Eve.